להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולה תבוא. And welcome for those of you who are streaming live, not on Zoom, but on YouTube. You may have just had access and gotten in because I forgot to turn that on. So now we are streaming both on YouTube and on Zoom, and you can catch us in both of those places. I want to start with an intention, a kavanah, in the prayer by Alden Solovey for Slichot, and it is called Cry No More. Cry no more for the sins of the past. Rejoice in your repentance and your return. For this is the day that God made to lift you up from sorrow and shame, to deliver you to the gates of righteousness. Remember this. Love is the crown of your life, the wisdom, the rock on which you stand. Charity is your staff, and justice your shield. Your deeds declare your kindness, and your works declare your devotion. Cry no more for your fears and your dread. Rejoice in your blessings and your healing. For this is the day that God made to raise your countenance and hope, to deliver you to the gates of holiness. And we move to the Shema. And we are listening. There are so many sounds from this week, as there have been for so many weeks this crazy year. But tonight, I want to particularly turn our attention to the West Coast and to hear and uplift the prayers for strength, for courage, and for protection for those who are being affected and threatened by those terrible, deadly wildfires. And to hear and uplift the prayers for strength, for courage, for protection for those who are Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And you shall love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that you have in you. You shall take to heart these words which I command you today. You shall be careful to teach them to your children, and when you are home, when you are away, when you go to bed at night, and when you get up in the morning. Make them a sign on your arm and a reminder above your eyes. Write them on the doorposts and gates of your homes. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. So there's something especially poignant in this season that we find ourselves in when we come to the Mishaberach prayer, the prayer that we offer for thoughts for healing. We usually do it on Shabbat, and I read the names, and they are people who are generally not here, not present. Often they are the names of people who are not even physically close or in proximity to the people whose prayers we are offering. And this year we have that added level with many of the people on the list that we are actually physically not able to draw close to them and offer our healing and our love and our blessing to them in person. You know, I am deeply aware of how painful that is and how contrary it is to so many of us, what we would normally want to do. You know, we want to rush out with the chicken soup and the challah and the whatever it is that, you know, magic potion we are going to offer of love, and hold people and sit with them and hold their hands. And we are unable to do that. But we are able to send our blessing, and we do offer it tonight to Sue Bernstein, to Walter Hirschman, to Bradley Gutfinger, to Norma Yohai, to Norma Mandel, to Audrey Wolfberg. And if you would like to add names, because I know that we don't have everyone, please feel free to write in the chat the names that you are holding in your heart this evening. To Norma Yohai, to Norma Mandel, Audrey Wolfberg, and if you would like to add names, I know that we don't have everyone, please feel free to write in the chat names that you are holding. Misha Beirach Avotenu Mekor Avracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor havracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And the people Israel shall keep Shabbat as a sign of the covenant for all generations eternally. It is an everlasting sign between me and the people Israel, for in 6 days Adonai made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day ceased and was refreshed. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beni uven, bnei Yisrael, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. And before we take our time, our private prayers and reflection in the Amidah, I want to offer a poem by Rabbi Rami Shapiro. It is particularly addressing the steps that are necessary to bring us fully into the high holy day presence. I offer this to you as an opportunity to sort of direct your thoughts and your prayers this evening in the Amidah, and to think about, and maybe, you know, if you are home with somebody, to discuss even as we move forward. So I'm going to offer this blessing and then go directly into the Amidah by turning off the sound and the visual for a few moments. So the prayer, the steps of forgiveness by Rami Shapiro. Even now, the depth of sin escapes me. There is more darkness than the feeble candle of forgiveness can erase. Yet by its light, I see my place, where I stand and where I might next step. It is enough to step one step, to turn one turn, this time, now. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is hurt. And there is redemption. With the pain, with the hurt, there is redemption. Who can straighten what has been crooked? I cannot, though I would so wish it otherwise. But otherwise has trapped me too long. Now is the time of arising. Now is the time of awakening. Now is the time of doing, not straightening, but no more twisting, not forgetting, but at last forgiving. And to that we say, Amen. Now is the time of arising. Now is the time of Oh, say shalom b'mo'amav, Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. So as I said, we are getting to the end of the Torah, and Nitzavim includes a lot of sort of the windup of Moses telling people, okay, this is what you're doing. I've written all of this stuff down for you, all the stuff that, the story, and you're supposed to keep it, and you're supposed to teach it to your children, and you're supposed to use it and bring it with you into this land that you are going to inhabit. And it includes this line: concealed acts concern the Lord our God, but with overt acts, it is for us and our children ever to apply all the provisions of this teachings. So this refers to the idea that there are some things that fall under the realm of God's judgment and God's punishment and reward, but the stuff between people is our responsibility. And we have this same paradigm set up when we talk about slichot, and we talk about tshuva, the act of atonement, that we are doing sort of a dual track, the atonement of and settling of our rifts between human beings, and that's our responsibility to do, and hopefully we do as much as we can before Yom Kippur. And then on Yom Kippur, it is just us and God, and our sort of turning to God for those things that are just, you know, are not in the realm of human control and human forgiveness, but on this different level. And this line is highlights another line, that nearby line that says the teaching is not in heaven. And what it's saying is, and sort of profound to find this in the Torah, after all of this and after God and all of these things, that you have the Moses and God saying, yeah, there's this teaching, but it isn't in heaven. It's not about what happens in heaven. It's about, the teaching is for the people here on earth. So I want to share this poem by Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt called Secrets, that she wrote about this idea of the realm of thought and action and tshuva and forgiveness that falls into the heavenly divine realm, as opposed to that between people. God inhabits our secrets, nestles in our fantasies, like a cat curling up for a nap in a pile of warm laundry. God hides in plain sight, veiled by the textures of creation. As Elul dwindles to a fingernail paring, God sorts the stories we don't tell. Some God keeps in confidence. Some ask us shyly to be spoken aloud. On Yom Kippur, when we knock on our hearts, we don't have to be afraid to throw our screen doors wide. So before we come to the conclusion of our service, I want to take a few moments to recognize that this is a date that has profound meaning for many of us, that it is September 11th today. It is the 19th anniversary of the terrorist attacks that happened across the East Coast on that day, the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and not far from here in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And, you know, at the time we thought nothing worse could happen in our country. So here we are. I have a colleague and whom I honored to call my friend, Rabbi Yael Rydberg, who on 9/11, 2001 was the rabbi at the West End Synagogue in New York City, in Manhattan. And each year she shares a remembrance, the same remembrance of what she did that day. And how she heard news about different people and how she slipped into the role, went back and forth between the role of, worried mother, parent, daughter, and caretaking rabbi. And she repeats it each year with the litany of, I remember, I will always remember this. And each year I remember, of course, we all likely have a story of where we were at that moment, at that time. I was in Israel in the height of the Second Intifada, and I was in a store, like the local store, and I saw something on TV and I thought it was a bad movie until I realized what was actually happening. And because I was away, I was out of the country and in a country that had its own sort of daily terrorist horrors and deaths and repercussions. Each year, I see something new. Now, I see images. I don't see the images from that I saw then. I see brand new images, some that are so familiar to everybody else because I didn't see them then. And this year, as I was reading Rabbi Rydberg's piece about the people who she remembers, the moments she remembers, as I was thinking about my high school classmate, Frank Doyle, who was killed, I thought about now what we know about the survivors of 9/11, what we know about the people who died because of what happened on 9/11, but years later, the first responders, the people who are at the various grounds zero, who got ill and died, the people who are still waiting while our federal government decides who can get money and who can't to support them in their illnesses after this. And so I want to close just before the Mourner's Kaddish with a poem for 9/11 survivors by Alden Solovey. God of the survivor, God of the mourner and the witness, grant solace and peace to those still held by physical, emotional, and spiritual distress from the attacks of 9/11. Release them from visions of death and destruction, from guilt or shame, from fear or anger. Bind their wounds with your steadfast love. Lift them high on your wings of kindness and grace. Blessed are those who have found peace. Blessed are those without tranquility. Blessed are those who speak. Blessed are those who stay silent. Blessed are those who have healed. Blessed are those who suffer. Blessed are those who forgive. Blessed are those who cannot forgive. Blessed are you, source of strength for survivors of violence and tragedy in every land and in every age. May you be blessed and bless us, rock of compassion, source of hope and comfort. And we say, Amen. And in this week ahead, we remember the yahrzeits of Louis Kaiserman, Bernard Hoffman, Mary Maritek, Joseph Hirsch, Samuel Rosenblum, Rose Barrow, Benjamin Cass, as well as those in their first year of passing, Mark Clapper, Jay Harris, Gloria Schwartz, May Teichman, Marcia Hoffman, and Bernice Speck. The Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgedal v'yitgedash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivrach le'olam olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiram bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing many of your screens, if not your faces, next Friday evening as we enter into the Rosh Hashanah and High Holy Day period. Thank you. As a reminder, if you would like to borrow a machzor, the High Holiday Prayer Book, please get in contact with me. We'll figure out a way to either drop it off or have you pick it up to borrow. If you would like to try to attend any of the services in person, please contact me and I can let you know where we still have space for the 25 people who we will have in the building. And all of our services will be live streamed with the exception of our Tashlich service, which will not be live streamed. It's just going to be too complicated for our tech department to figure out how to do that or to do that successfully. But everything else will be live streamed. I will be sending out Zoom links to the congregation. But the our YouTube channel will also have all of the live streaming, and you will not have to rely on me to remember to turn it on because we have actually hired somebody who is experienced and knows how to do those things and will take on that responsibility on our behalf. So I look forward to having Larry Harold here to do that for us. In the meantime, have a Shabbat Shalom, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, do all the things that you need to do, that you know you should do. Call your mother if you can. And that's it. Shabbat Shalom. In the meantime, have a Shabbat Shalom, stay safe, wash your hands.